Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. It's Friday afternoon, I've finished work and I'm going to a concert tonight, and it's another glorious day, an end to a glorious day, blue sky. It's just been an absolute fantastic weather. And I remember years ago somebody saying that one act of craziness is to look east for a sunset. And today I'm looking east and I can see the sun setting, but I'm seeing it setting as a reflection in the toaster over there, the building which is on that Bennelong Point. And what I'll do now is I'll just go on a walk and talk, because it is a magical time of day. It's that last hour or so of sunlight, which makes it oh so special. A little bit of a breeze blowing to keep it interesting. So let me just open up my notes and just see what we're going to talk about today. But today I thought we're going to talk about something a little bit different, on a topic which I think is important to each and every one of us, especially once you get to a certain age. We start thinking about this topic more and more. And the topic of this book summary is entitled Ending Aging. Ending Aging. So it's not about aging, but it's about ending aging. So I wonder what they're going to tell us. And the author is Aubrey de Grey. Aubrey de Grey. And there are 3 key points to come out of this book, and we'll just assess it and review it and see if there's anything that we can take from this book and incorporate it into our lifestyle, and hopefully get to put the brakes on aging and help us live a little bit longer, but more importantly, not only living longer, but living more healthily. So the author here suggests at the opening of this book summary that the cure for aging is neither prevention nor medication. It's all about repairing your system, which is an interesting way of looking at things. Let's go around here to the International Passenger Terminal, and I'll head all the way around and see what we can see. So it's all about learning how to repair your body, which this author is saying is something which is going to add years and value to our lives. Because the author then goes on to say that even though we have advanced medications, we live in a world where the medical field is growing and expanding on a daily basis. You know, we're at a point now where we can generate not one, but half a dozen or so independently developed vaccines for COVID-19, which was never thought possible a year ago, and yet the reality is it is very, very possible. But the author here goes on to say to us that the problem with medications, and I'm not suggesting that COVID-19 vaccination is a medication, but we're talking about other things, so let's not get caught up with this whole COVID thing. So let's just talk about medications in general. So what the author is saying here is that the problem with medication is that you never get to know what caused your problem in the first place. And therefore, by not knowing what caused your problem in the first place, then you never know really how to go about fixing it. Because all you're doing is treating the symptoms. So that's a good point, and a point that we can leverage in this book. So yes, it's okay if you're sick, to seek medication, but that's not going to be your answer, because all medications do are a cure. They cure the symptoms, but not the cause or the source. The author then goes on to say something which is quite profound, that it's probably better not to get sick in the first place. But first, we need to understand what causes disease. And I remember years ago going to an Anthony Robbins seminar where he actually broke down the word disease, and he said that disease was just basically a breaking of our health. So we've gone from a system, a position of ease to dis-ease. So it just means that our bodies are not functioning properly. So the author says something quite profound. It's better not to get sick in the first place, but we need to understand and know what causes disease. Then we have a bit of a call to action and a bit of a wake up, where the author then says to us that if you are 40 and expect to live to 80, I was kind of hoping that people who are 40 are expecting to live beyond 80, but then again, who knows? But let's take a conservative approach. So if you're 40 and you're expecting to live to 80, the author is saying that we need to immediately cut the aging speed in half with preemptive measures. Now, how powerful is that? Now we're talking about preemptive measures and cutting in half the aging process. So the author then talks about the importance of continuing to repair our bodies prior to damage kicking in, and then being at a point where it can't be sorted out and fixed. Then the author gets a little bit more technical and talks about what causes us to age. And as I said, it's probably a little bit too technical for my understanding. But the author says that we age. The huge aging factor in our body is our mitochondrial mutations, and it's the things that happen at the cellular level in our bodies, and it's all about a thing called free radicals. I remember hearing about free radicals many years ago, but I never got my head around it. But basically, in a nutshell, without being too scientific, because if I was trying to be too scientific, I'd be bullshitting anyway. The free radicals are highly reactive and unstable things in our bodies. And in layman's terms, which is all I can discuss at this point, and based on my level of education from a scientific perspective, the author describes them as being troublemakers to your body, and they are produced, as we said, at the cellular level with our mitochondria. But what happens is that at that level, when these things become very reactive and cause irritations, I guess, in our bodies, what they do is they mutate, and these mutations are the cause of accelerated aging. It's quite scary, actually, when you haven't seen somebody for a while, and then all of a sudden you bump into them, and they just look a lot older than what they were the last time you saw them. And it's the sort of thing that you start to expect when you're hitting your 60s and beyond, because a lot of people have stayed and looked young for many years. Then all of a sudden it just accelerates at a rapid rate. But the author here talks about things that we can do to reduce that aging process, to hit a pause button on it. And it's all about what we eat, how we exercise, the water that we have in our bodies, so how we hydrate. But it's all about managing the free radicals in the foods that we choose and the lifestyle that we lead. And the simple sort of point that the author makes at the end of this book summary is that we basically need to change our mindset in order to win against aging. Because what happens is, and the thing that causes us the biggest grief, is that the body, the brain, prefers safety, and it prefers to be safe and comfortable now, rather than having the big benefits later in life. But as the author said, that what we need to understand is that if you're in your 40s, you need to be preparing and living a lifestyle that is going to slow down your aging process by a big factor. Because if you're smoking, if you're drinking lots of alcohol, if you're having lots of processed food, lots of coffee, not exercising, stressing, and you know it, there's lots of things that we can talk about. Living in a polluted sort of environment, eating food which is not serving you, all of those things are going to have a compound effect on your health. And before you know it, days, years, months will pass, and you'll look at yourself in the mirror and you'll say to yourself, how did I get from where I was? And if you look at a photo a year ago or 2 years ago, and it happens to me all the time, I see photos from a couple of years ago and I'm a little bit shocked at how quickly the aging process kicks in for me. And I guess that the same thing happens with everybody else. But as the author says, we need to do the hard yards early in life. We need to stay active. We need a mindset of a positive mindset, so we eliminate the stresses in our lives, because we don't want cortisol and all of those stress hormones flowing freely through our bodies. I guess there is a bit of a formula, but as a lot of authors also say, at the end of the day, regardless of what you eat, regardless of what you do, each person has a sort of DNA makeup that will determine how old they live and how healthy they are. But the big answer from this book is that at least we've got to try, and you've got to start early and prevent yourself from getting sick. And you do that by repairing your body, by getting adequate sleep, by eating properly, by exercising, by relaxing, by sleeping, as we said, and all of those things put together. So let's finish up with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and let's take a few pages out of this book summary, a few tips that we can use along the way, and End Aging by Aubrey de Grey, and incorporate some of these learnings into our lifestyles, and let our friends and family also know that they need to look after themselves. Because there are people who are 30 and probably have the age, the physical age of a or a health age of a 70-year-old. Lose weight, exercise, relax, eat well. Don't overindulge in substance abuse. No, we know what we have to do. All we have to do is do it, and do it for a long, long time so that we get the compounding effects. So let's finish up, and I look forward to coming to you again later on from a different location with a different message. I need to do one more vlog for today in order to get my 5 for the day, which is my quota, in order to get to my 1,000 by my 61st birthday. So I look forward to coming to you again from a different location with a different message, where we can be partners in each other's growth and development, where we can be the wind beneath our wings, we can be the wave beneath our boards, we can be the zephyr that billows our sails and flutters our flags, and also be the propeller and the turbine that pushes our craft in the direction where we want to head. Let's live, learn and pass it on. Have a good rest of the day. Christos Anesti for those who have recently celebrated Easter, and we're in that 40-day period after Easter Sunday between resurrection and ascension, and I look forward to chatting to you again. I'm going to a concert tonight at the Sydney Recital Hall up at Angel Place, where George Ellis and his symphony choir and bassists will be singing some classics. So I can't wait to enjoy that concert and to come to you again from a different location, and we'll chat again. Yassa, Filakia, Ketaleme. Bye for now.